Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you happen to be in this upward, spiraling, ascending path that we're all on, I hope that you are able to take some time out of your day, out of your schedule, whether you're busy or not, even if it's 5 minutes, that you're able to sit quietly with your eyes closed and focus inwardly and just wait for the light to come. If you focus on your third eye and you sit with your spine as straight as you can, just gently pay attention to thoughts that pass by. Don't think about it, just let it go. As if you're watching a screen, and if you're able to focus on your third eye with your eyes closed, eventually the light will come. I've mentioned it many times on the show before. You know, Jesus said it, if thine eye be single, then thy whole body shall be filled with light. That's what he means. Meditation, knowing the God within, and the first step is just silence, being present with yourself, and not trying to force anything. I did this earlier. I was feeling terrible all day. I don't know. I can't even put a finger on it. I mean, I slept 8 or 9 hours, and I woke up and it felt like I haven't slept in days. And I was absolutely exhausted, just barely able to move, barely able to function. I'm still at that level, but I'm maybe 10% better, enough to do the show, which I'm going to do the show regardless of what I'm going through, guys, because I made a promise to you guys. I take the weekends off, and Monday through Friday I work for you, because regardless of how we feel or what we're doing, we're still ascending and things are still happening. So I feel really freaking weird today, and turning my attention inward helped. I wanted to know answers, and then I just kept saying, God, I want to know, but I don't even want to ask. I'm too tired. So I just want to sit with the light. So I sat with the light, and then I brought in kind of a pale blue and white light in, which I think was prana energy. That's probably what made me feel better. After a while, my spiritual master appeared before me, right in front of me, and he just meditated with me, just to help me boost my energy. And I started gaining some insights about various things, and then I kept drawing my attention back to just focusing on the inner light. And sometimes that's just what you need to do. Just keep focusing on the light. Focus on the light. Focus on the light. I don't know about you guys, but I have been running hot and then cold and then hot and then cold and then hot and then cold all day. And I've been exhausted. Just absolutely, sheer exhausted. I feel like, have you guys ever moved? Have you ever like just packed up your apartment or your house, and for days you're putting stuff in boxes and moving them around? Then you load everything up on the truck and you take it to your next place or storage or whatever, and then you unload the truck. Then you have to drive the truck back, and by the time you're done, wherever you're going, whenever you get to where you're going, you just are so wiped out. And you just flop down on the bed. You either take a shower and flop down on the bed, or you don't even have the energy to take a shower. And you just flop down the bed and you're just like out for like 12 hours. That's how I feel today. And I didn't even do a damn thing. I didn't move anything. I didn't do anything. I like did nothing. And I just feel like all I was doing was moving. I know that I had some crazy dreams. I know I was not abducted, although I do feel like I have puncture wounds at the base of my skull again, but I think that's from a few days ago. And I don't know, it's just this intense energy. And walking around, just, walking around my townhouse that I rent here. Oh, I just looked, it's 5:55. Earlier I saw 555 as well. So I wanted to bring that up because angel numbers. It means something new, something is about to change in a big, brand new way. And it's because you've achieved balance. That's what I remember 555 meaning. Oh, gosh. So I don't know if you guys are aware of your center of gravity in your body. When you walk around, like how you feel physically balanced. If you've ever done martial arts, I used to do martial arts, and they always talked about your center of gravity, and it's supposed to be in, and then when I took, God, it's like I can't even function. It's like Mercury Retrograde. I don't know what this is. I think it's just the cosmic energy coming from the other side of the sun. It's not coming from the sun directly. It's coming from God knows where on the other end, on the other side of the sun, towards us. I think it's the galactic center is just sending us massive waves of cosmic energy. The red aurora borealis has happened again. In fact, I added that person who took that wild picture, which I added it to my stories because it was so insane. It looks like a giant vagina in the sky. It's red aurora borealis. It is one of the craziest things that I've ever seen, and it feels ominous to me. It's like welcome to hell or something. I don't know. It just feels very unfriendly and ominous to me. And the aurora borealis came back yesterday with red and green. And yet somehow doesn't really look Christmassy at all. It doesn't look lovely or beautiful. To me, the green part did, but the red part was freaking me out. Like War of the Worlds or hell. And there was in the one that I'm calling the big vagina in the sky, it looked like there was a goddess energy. Like literally, if you can, you might have to hold it away from your eyes and squint a little, but I saw like a being in that. Like a female being in that energy. It was very trippy, dude. Like, I don't know. I can't explain why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, but my cat was feeling it all day in the morning. Right now, he's got tons of energy. My son was exhausted all day too. And my son's convinced that we had the asymptomatic COVID and that now we're having the long-range symptoms of being exhausted. But it's not every single day. Yesterday I was tired, but not like this. But anyway, I spent years when I was younger learning self-defense and karate and different things. And then I learned Qigong. That's the one. That's what I was trying to think of. I started to learn Qigong, and he always says, focus on your center, your Ascension or Genshin. I'm not good at Mandarin. I wish I was, but and that's always like, like basically around your belly button or right above your belly button, and that's where I've always been aware of my center of gravity. Like before I broke my leg, I always had a very good and strong and real sense of where my body is and what it's doing and what's happening. And since I broke my leg, I've been kind of disconnected from that center of gravity energy. And I try to get it back, learning Qigong and all that. But today is the first day that I ever felt like my center of gravity is literally in my heart. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I feel freaking weird. Like I've not been able to walk upright. I don't know how to even say that. Like I'm not even walking normal. I'm like kind of feeling disoriented and almost like I'm drunk. Like I'm not able to walk in a straight line, which is odd. I feel just strange. I feel 20 feet tall, even though I'm not taller. I feel 20 feet tall, and my center of gravity is in my chest, and the anxiety I normally have in my solar plexus has moved up also a little bit, like almost like a heart anxiety, but it's not as much as it used to be. It's like almost completely gone. I spent a lot of time meditating, just sitting in perfect silence today, just focused on whatever I could focus on, just trying to focus on something. The overthinking and the ADHD sometimes takes over, and I have to keep going back to, I just want to think about a light. What light do I see inside? What light is my body filling up with? And it was nice that my master came and he sat with me and sat in front of me, and I felt his energy. And in my mind's eye, I just saw him, and he just says, just focus on me. Just look at me. So I've been getting a lot of insights lately. I just wanted to bring that up about the meditating. It's not a huge message tonight, but it's important. Meditating is important. And that's the easiest meditation I could tell you guys to do. Just self-realization fellowship style. Just, you sit either in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, or you sit cross-legged on the floor, or on a bed is fine. I sit on a bed. When you get to be older, it's harder to get back up off the floor. I'm 52, and I don't look or act my age, which is cool, but I still have stiffness and arthritis issues, so I don't like to sit on the floor too much. I try to avoid that. But yeah, just today was a weird day, man. I feel weird. I just sat with myself, like for, just being so exhausted, I could do nothing. I couldn't even try to watch TV for a little while. I was watching The Worst Witch, and my cat loves that show. There's a lot of black cats in the show like him. I don't know if that's why, but we're just we hang out and watch The Worst Witch every now and again together. It's been a really super fun week, actually. I got him on, was it Thursday of last week, and today's Wednesday, so we've been together now for 7 whole days. And he was very spooky today, very strange. He's doing that spooky Halloween cat, Frady cat thing that you've seen on posters and t-shirts, and Halloween cards and Halloween art, for the past 200 years. It's like my cat's a poster child for Halloween. He's like doing that weird crab walk, like running sideways with his arched back and his tail up, straight up, and his hair sticking out in every direction. I mean, he looks just like a Halloween cat. And his eyes have gotten pale green. They're kind of like a jade green. When we first got him, his eyes were blue. And he was shooting blue beams out of his eyes. It was like wild. I saw energy shooting out of his eyes when I first got him. It was pretty cool. And I haven't seen that kind of a thing since, but he does make eye contact a lot and stares into my eyes a lot, and then does the kitty kisses thing, when they close their eyes real slow. That's the way cats say I love you. So I've been telling my cat I love him with my eyes for days. But today he's been crazy. He just kept attacking me, and he's a wild cat today. Absolutely wild. But yeah, I don't know what you guys are feeling or what you've been going through today. I hope that you all are okay. And the only thing that I can say to do if you have a day like I did today, with feeling really odd and weird and uncomfortable in your body and feeling hot and then cold. And I don't have a fever. My head is fine. Absolutely fine. And I'm bloated like crazy. My stomach is so extended out. I asked my spiritual team, I'm like, I look like I'm pregnant. Like, please tell me this isn't like a freaking, like a tumor or something, And they said, no, it's like water weight. And I'm like, what the hell? And it's so much radiation, so much cosmic energy coming in. And I'm a holder of the light. A lot of people that are light workers are also light holders. So when all the energy comes racing in, our bodies will just grab onto the energy, and our bodies don't know what to do with it right away. And so we just hold it. And while we're holding the energy, we're learning how to gently dissipate it into the earth. And then you lose all the water weight right after. But sometimes it takes a minute, it takes a couple hours to dissipate it slowly so that the earth and the people that are inhabiting the earth can actually utilize the energy. Otherwise, the gamma rays would go right through the whole planet and just be leaked out on the other side. So we're kind of like sieves, I don't know. Simps, I'm just kidding. I don't know. We're just like vessels that hold the energy, basically. Just think about rain barrels that, when it rains and farmers have the rain barrels and they're collecting the rain. If they didn't have the rain barrels, the rain would just go on into the ground and eventually just dissipate. But this way, if he has it in the rain, farmer has it in the rain barrels, he could just put a lid on it and hold it for when he needs it. And that's kind of what the light holders of the planet are doing. So it's very, very interesting. I was watching Shri and Kira. They have several places to go on the internet to check them out. ShriandKira.com, SRI, and then AND, and then KIRA, ShriandKira.com. Or you could just go to Shri and Kira Official on YouTube to go check them out. They have a new group of people there with them now, and they've been doing this for a while. They open their home up and have people come, and they discovered all this Kanyari people's ancient artifacts on their land recently. And that's including stones and like Incan pottery, and they discovered a pyramid of stones, and the Kanyari elder that's in the area, that's their friend, showed them what this pile of stones is. They thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. And he said in the Kanyari people's tradition, they would tell stories. They would sit around, probably around a fire, I'm assuming, and they would just tell stories. The elders would pick up a stone and say, this stone was this stands for the day that so-and-so in our tribe was born, and this is their life. When you touch this, they're literally touchstones. So when people touch them, if they're psychic, they're going to know about the life that stone represents. And so they just found this on their land, like a big pyramid of stones about the Kanyari people that used to live there. And then they found like a black cave, and then they found so if you want to go to their website or their YouTube, they've got video of these sacred sites. And they were saying, and as they were saying this, they were saying that there was like an elder woman in the 7th dimension. She's like a gatekeeper. And they have like a black cave, and then they have another area that's called the House of Light. And it's like another entryway to Shambhala. And they're thinking it really is the Shambhala, even though it's very unassuming. It doesn't look like much if you had an untrained eye. It just doesn't look like anything. And yet they said they've been to all the great wonders of the world, and they never felt this kind of high vibrational energy as they have here in Ecuador. And I kind of tend to agree with, even though I've never been to the wonders of the world in this body, I do know that there's a very high vibration here in Ecuador. And they live like 45 minutes from here, and they were saying, Kira was saying today in their video that they've gotten younger. She's like started to reverse her age. Like her hair color is coming back, and her body is becoming younger, and wrinkles she had are going away. And she does feel like there's like this youth energy coming because of the high vibrational energy. And I feel it too. Like I told you 3 years ago when I was in Peru, all my hair turned white, and everything, like I was starting to look older. And since I got here, and my face fluctuates, like from day to day, I might look really young one day and old the next day, and then really young again. So there's like a fluctuational thing going on. But with my hair, I've reversed my age in my hair. Like my hair color has come back, except for in a couple little spots, which is where it first started to go white. So I feel like if I find some land just outside of Cuenca with a high vibration, I'm sure in a year or two I'm going to look a lot younger. I feel like that energy is here. But anyway, they were talking about how there's 3 spots. There's where they are, and then Ingapurka, and then this third spot. And they think it's like a pyramidal energy, or like a triangular. It makes on the map like a triangle. And they were saying how this is like power spots. Now that they've opened up the energy portals in their land, this is going to accelerate everything. And I think they mean like for the whole planet, right? And as she was talking and saying this, and as she's talking, there was like a video where she's talking to a 7th dimensional woman that no one else can see. Well, I saw the woman's face in the clouds, and no one thought about it to look up. But above Kira's head, you could see the woman's face. And she's smiling. She's a little old woman, and she's smiling. She has long white hair. But it's tied back in the clouds. It's just like a woman with her hair tied back. And then they did look up to the clouds, to the other side of the clouds, and saw a spiral form. And that's the kind of thing that happens here all the time in Ecuador. The clouds are very responsive to the people, the energy of the people, and the clouds are very responsive to the the emotions and what we're thinking. I told you, like last year, I was witness to someone going through heartbreak because above their house every day for a week was a heart-shaped cloud that got a lightning pattern in the center, and then it like the cloud, it's like, it's almost like the heart broke and fell on its two sides, like two halves away from each other. And it was like over and over and over again, like every day I was seeing this heartbreak energy over this person's house. I mean, I almost felt like going over there and saying, are you okay? You know, because I could tell your heart is broken. I could see it in the sky. And I've seen the Kanyari version of demons in the sky. And I've seen spirits, you know, clouds, spirits in the clouds that were, you know, like the sylphs and the energy of, and the dragons, lots of dragons. There's a lot of clouds that look like dragons, like traditional children's fairy tale or storybook dragons of hair in the sky here. A lot of stuff. But what they saw in this video, there was like a spiral in the sky. Right when she was saying the word spiral, she looked up and there was a spiral in the clouds. So, but anyway, while they were going through this in the Shreen Kara video, I suddenly got a really intense download. And I realized that it's not just 3 places, it's 7. There's 4 new places that need to be opened up here. And it's directly related to the Pleiadian system. And it's also related to Lemuria. And I feel like, and then I ran across something else today about Lemurian starseed crystals. And I feel like there's something to do with Lemuria. Like we are having to open up once again, recreate the energy and the feeling and the vibe of Lemuria, which is a very ancient civilization. I think it was, I can't really say for sure, but I think it was everything to do with like the Pacific Ocean, whereas Atlantis was the Atlantic Ocean. And Edgar Cayce said Mu was going to emerge near Hawaii. And that was his thought or his feeling about that. But I feel like Lemuria, Mu being in the center of the word Lemuria, but it was an ancient world. I don't know a lot about it, but I feel I was a part of it somehow. And I feel like we're going to bring that back up. We're going to raise the vibration so high that we have Lemuria again, kind of incarnate, almost like coming back. And I feel like it has to do with Shreen Kara's land and the other 2 places they mentioned, but also 4 different places that are as of yet unactivated, or they've been deactivated. They have to be reactivated. And I feel like one of these places is going to be mine someday. Wherever the hell this is, I have no idea. In fact, if I look at where their 3 places are, and then I look at a star chart of the Pleiadians, I can, you know, the 7 sisters they call it, the Pleiades. I'm sure I could figure it out. But in fact, I almost feel like if I put a map over it and figure it out, then if I could just see what land is available, I'll know which one is mine. So strange. Which I have no money at all to buy land right now, but I just feel like, anyway, when that happens, eventually down the line, then I'm going to open it up too, so that people could come. You guys can all come. Oh, oops. I just knocked something over. So you guys can come and we'll do some meditation on the land and revitalize the energy of Lemuria. You know, whereas my near twin Jude told me that he's feeling like he's got to revitalize the energy of Atlantis, and he's on the Atlantic side, and I'm in Ecuador. We're on the Pacific side. So I don't know if that resonates with any of you guys. But speaking of land, I mean, for days now, I've been feeling like the volcano has been going off for like 2 days, yesterday and today, like the day before yesterday. So I looked it up, and of course, it's been shooting plumes of ash 21,000 and 22,000 feet in the air 3 days in a row. And so my higher guidance told me that the collective card of the day today is from the Literary Witches Oracle. And I finally figured something out about this, is that there's, on all the boxes that I've gotten, there's like a little code. And in this little code, it's like, the QR code. You can scan it and then go on over to the website that this is corresponding to be able to read for the cards, so you could read the books without the book being inside the box with the cards. So I did that, and something went wrong, and now it says it's a hacker trying to hack my phone, which is, so, I had to go back out of it, and so now I've got to look it up and find if this is just a big fat scam, or if it's actually the right website. They just didn't renew their security certificate, which to me is a big fat racket in and of itself. When you have a website, you have to keep renewing the security certificate, saying you are who you say you are every, for like $100 a year or something. It's kind of just a scam to me. Well, we didn't renew the certification because we didn't have the $100 this year, so now suddenly we're hackers. So I kind of feel like the website is fine, but I've still got to look into it. So I still couldn't get the information on these cards. And these cards are strange because they're the Literary Witches Tarot, or I mean Oracle. It's not a tarot. The Literary Witches, they're like pictures of female authors with one word that they stood for. Or it's just a simple image with one word. And the one word today is volcano. So it's just like so perfect that, all day I'm like, I have like ash in my mouth. There's like particulate matter, in the air. It's just, I don't know, it's just very, like I'm breathing in hell. Like it's sulfury-ish and weird feeling, tasting. And my nose has been bleeding, and my lungs have been congested. My throat's been, you could tell my throat's really swollen. In fact, up until about an hour ago, I thought my throat was going to just close up, like all day long. I ate salt. I did everything trying to fix this. I ate salt. I ate super spicy. I ate 2 Doritos. They're super spicy. My son loves those. I can't stand them, but I thought maybe the spices will open up my throat. I drank some Tang, which I never drink, but I had that as an emergency vitamin C, thing, just in case I ran out of vitamins. I tried that. I tried this lemonade, just like everything I could to open my throat. And all day long I've been thinking it must be about the volcano. And anyway, I asked, collective card for the day, it's volcano. So what is a volcano? It's spewing forth that which was from within, right? And it's just maybe anger, maybe blowing your top. For some of you, it might be that you've been explosive, maybe explosive diarrhea. I don't know. There's literally no explanation for this damn card. But just explosions, so maybe you're having explosive insights where you're like, whoa, I had no idea, and all of a sudden you're getting like, bam, one after another, Strombolian activity of ideas, possibly. For me, it just confirms that the volcano here was definitely going off, and it's a massive earth change, and if this is representing the collective whole, this is a massive change inside all of us. Like our inner selves are becoming our outer selves, literally. So as we meditate and become more purified inside, we're actually allowing that to exude on the outside of us as well. So that could be another interpretation for volcano. And it's always subject to interpretation. So you're going to have to find your own meaning in this card called volcano. But I'm going to try to take a picture of it. I'll get up in the next 24 hours on my Instagram, which is at mermaidgirl888. You want to probably follow me there so you can see just things I talk about on the show end up on there. If there's a picture to be had, it's going to be on there. There is a couple cute kitty pictures of Knowledge. That's my new cat. That's his name, Knowledge Ravenspell. And my little black kitty cat. He's super adorable. Anyway, yeah, so yesterday's card and today's card, I'm hoping to get up tonight or tomorrow morning, just so that you guys can see what the cards look like and see the explanations. This one, again, I don't have any kind of explanation, so your guess is as good as mine. But I gave you my best interpretation based on my gut instinct right now. So, volcanoes. Hell, it might mean you're having an eruption of acne. Honestly, I don't know what this means. It makes a lot more sense than the time I got the one that said boar. It was just a boar's head. But volcano, yeah. I don't know. I think it's an eruption, the within flowing to the without, spiritually, it could just be that we're finally expressing ourselves. But my throat chakra is hurting. My throat is hurting because of a volcano. So it might just mean, expression of your being as well. You're finally able to spew out your thoughts and opinions and ideas and let the world know who you are. So, all right. I'm going to go to spaceweather.com and read to you guys what's happening there. Maybe it will give us some insights as to what I'm feeling and maybe what you guys are feeling. The current conditions of the solar wind is 272.3 kilometers per second. A little bit picked up since yesterday. We have one sunspot that is starting to emerge, but it's not quite... It's starting to emerge, but it's not 100% emerged yet. So we've had one day without a sunspot. And then hopefully when this does emerge, then that will go back down to zero. So we are expecting minor B-class solar flares that are likely in the hours ahead. Well, okay, that does make sense. The red aurora borealis is really crazy. If you want to go check this out, spaceweather.com. And they're eerie. I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of freaking me out, this color. I don't know. On the 13th of October even. 13, by the way. The 13th is the day that Mercury went retrograde, and I wanted to talk about something because Sri and Kira, they're always talking about the astrology and the ascended astrology, and she's always getting her dates on everything absolutely wrong. NASA knows where everything in the sky is, right? And they've reported now Mercury is retrograde, right? Yesterday. And today in her video, she said Mercury will be going retrograde on the 16th of October, and then she made up a whole bunch of stuff about the 16th of October. So I don't know exactly what she's doing or where she's gained her information, but it goes against every single thing that all astronomers are saying, and astrologers. So I don't know, but the way that she'd explained it, that also inspired me. And I love her dearly, so I don't know. I'm not doubting what she's saying. It just didn't make any sense to me because it's not what's actually happening. She always says, oh, Mercury's, direct today. And it's like, no, it's direct in like 5 days. What the hell? Or she'll say the shadow period is over, and it's like, it's already been over for a week, or it's not over for another week. She's always getting those dates wrong, and I don't get why. I really don't get it. But anyway, I started thinking about it. Mercury went retrograde on the 13th of October. Well, October is the month of death. This is the time when fall happens, autumn in the northern hemisphere. Everything is dying. All the trees are losing their leaves. Everything is dying at this time. And that's why on Halloween we celebrate, the dead. We dress up in crazy costumes to scare away ghouls and demons. And then followed by the next day or the day after, depending on what country tradition you're interested in, we have the Day of the Dead on the 1st and the 2nd of November throughout Central and South America. And the Day of the Dead is a time to honor your dead people. People will get together and have huge parties in the graveyard. And you just hang out. It's a time to hang out and talk to your dead people. It's just like a meeting time. It's a time in which the veils between the worlds are thinner, and you will have an ability to be more psychic, and more mediumship is available to you at that time, and you can actually speak to your dead. And if you don't have a psychic bone in your body, that's okay. I mean, even on Halloween or one of the days of the dead, you can put a plate of food out for your ancestors and just say, this is for the ancestors, and you just leave it out for a couple hours, and then you could just throw it away because there's no nutritional value in it anymore, because A, it's been staying out, and B, they've absorbed the energy of the food already. So, and that's something that's been throughout all of Native American, North America, traditions, as well as, putting food out for your ancestors. In fact, they say if you're being haunted, it's because you're leaving food out on the counter. The spirits think they're welcome if there's corn on the counter or a bowl of rice. So you have to put it away before you exorcise them from the house if you have unwanted ghosts. And also even in China, there are ancestor altars where you leave a bowl of rice. Also in India, you leave a bowl of rice and a piece of fruit, usually an orange or an apple, or maybe both. If you really love your ancestors, you leave both. And it's a small sacrifice, but the ancestors keep looking out for you, and you keep praying for them. They pray for you. So it's kind of lovely. It's a tradition throughout the whole wide world. But this is the month. And so number 13, if you look in a Western viewpoint, 13 is the death card. I know this because Archangel Azrael am I. So I'm always interested in this kind of stuff. And so 13 is the death card in the tarot. Yesterday was Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Scorpio is also a regenerative sign. The Scorpion, it's like a regenerative sign coming back, and it's related directly to the Kundalini and renewing yourself and becoming a higher octave of who you used to be and transforming yourself. And then 13 is a death card, which is not necessarily death, but transformation into something new, recreating, regenerating yourself. And so I think this Mercury retrograde, even though Mercury retrogrades in general are kind of a pain in the ass, I feel like this one is special because of all the other stuff that's going on. So I wanted to bring that up. Now, if you add 1 plus 3 in the number 13, you get 4. And after you have regenerated and renewed and rebirthed yourself through the transformation energy of death to your old self, death to your old life, death to all the things that you no longer need, bad habits, bad people, Drop the bad people like a bad habit. All the things you've kicked to the curb that no longer serve you. Your highest goal, then 1 + 4 in 13 equals the Emperor card in the tarot. And the Emperor sits on his throne, which is a philosopher's stone. And he sits upon his values and his morality. And because he's solid now, and he is surveying and peering out throughout his kingdom, because he is strong and he is solid. He has everything he needs, and it's all built. That temple, not built with hands, has been built, and he is the surveyor of his kingdom. So after you go through the regeneration and the transformation, you will become your own king. So that was my insight that came today. So here we go. I looked, and now we have 44 minutes. That's another angel number for you guys. 44 means angels are with you, and they are hearing your prayers. They're helping you. All right. So that deep metaphysical philosophy aside, Ulu neutron counts today coming out of Finland, 9.4%, which is high of the space age average. And we've had a 0.2% drop in the past 48 hours. And there are no significant coronal holes on the Earth side of the sun, and yet we will be starting to be hit and lambasted with B-class flares, minor B-class solar flares, in the next few hours. So if you start to feel really tired again, that's exactly what's going on. You're sensitive to the energy. And it does bring about Ascension flu and Ascension symptoms. So the network reported 42 fireballs over the United States. Of course, that means NASA's all-sky cameras caught them on camera in the all-sky fireball network. 42 fireballs over the U.S. Now, let's break that down. 36 were sporadic. 3 are Epsilon Geminids. 2 are Orionids. 1 is a Southern Taurid. And it just looks like a big messy ball of string. It's crazy. It's a crazy picture, man. So it is what it is. Let's see, where else can we go here? We have a couple more websites that we like to look at. Schumann Resonance News from disclosurenews.it only shows power 11, although be grateful for the number 11. It is a signpost that twin flames are getting ready to reunite. That might be you. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is me. I don't know, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I feel like I'm going to die holding my breath for this, so I'm just taking it in stride and giving my guy, all the time he needs, because I have to wait for him to come to me. All right. As far as heartmath.org is concerned, the Schumann Resonance News, that is the closest to where we are in time here now, is from October 12th at the 2300 hours. So about a day and a half ago is the latest news that's available through heartmath.org. So here are those numbers from Monday. California was at 86 hertz frequency. Hofuf, Saudi Arabia was at 91 hertz frequency. Lithuania was at 168 hertz frequency. Alberta, Canada, for some reason, is still down and out on the mat at 0 hertz frequency. Northland, New Zealand, from Northland in New Zealand was 65 hertz frequency. And last but not least, we have Hulului, South Africa. They were at 180 hertz frequency, and that was Monday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6 places well within the realms of the 5th dimension, physically in the 5th dimension, which again starts at 40 hertz frequency if you're brand new to the show and just tuning in. Now, So I like to bring these things up because I feel like it's important to back up our spiritual thoughts with actual cold, hard, factual science. And that's why I always bring in the science from these websites, because, it's nice to have an explanation as to why the hell we're feeling the way we're feeling. Being sensitive to energy. And by the way, this energy sparks volcanoes. Space weather, they've just been discovering. If you go to Suspicious Observer's website on YouTube, channel, sorry, not website, but channel on YouTube. YouTube is a website. He's discovered that weather anomalies, volcanoes, earthquakes, and a whole host of other things are caused by the space weather, including the massive solar flares and the CMEs that get broken off and sent our way, and gamma rays, and all the solar radiation, as well as the cosmic radiation that comes our way from outside of the sun towards us. We have a big crack in the magnetosphere, and that's why a lot of the aurora borealis happen, they're absolutely beautiful, except for this week they're red, which I swear to God, it's freaking me out. It's just, to me, it feels like a creepy omen. But it's worth looking at because it's totally rare, really wild. Anyway, well, that's it for this half of the show. I will be back in a couple minutes after this one message, and we're going to be channeling tonight, again, channeling the Arcturian Council. And I wanted to bring up, before we take our break, if you have ever seen the really weird crop circle that was a massive rectangle, and then there's like a round disc next to it, and in that rectangle was a digitized version of what looks like a gray alien. And okay, so if you go and look at that, you could go look up the alien crop circle, or, you could look up crop circles. It wasn't this year. It was like a couple years ago, I think. And I just saw it today, and it dawned on me, holy crap. On my feed last year, on my at Mermaid Girl 888, I took several pictures of what I felt like the Arcturians were here. And later, it took me hours upon hours just staring at these photographs. Like, there's something there. I can't put a finger on it, but I know something's there. And then all of a sudden, I saw this massive ship. That was a rectangular ship, cloaked by the clouds, but I could see the outline of it. And inside that rectangle was this exact face that's in that crop circle. The exact one. Because these are the Arcturians. And they're ninth dimensional beings. They're not from our dimension at all. And so it's rare to be able to see them. And they're trying to make contact with us in a way that is gentle and very sweet. So their ships appear in the clouds, and you don't really notice it unless you know what to look for. Because they're very well cloaked. And inside that rectangle, there's always what looks like a gray alien, even though their head shape is a little bit different, and technically they're blue, and they have brightly colored auras. They're very, very high vibrational beings with a lot of love and a good sense of humor, and they're absolutely in love with us. They love everything we're going through. They're sending us so much love. They're very good. They're part of the Galactic Federation of Light. And anyway, I just wanted to bring that up about the crop circle, because and the fact that it matches the pictures I took last year, it's freaking so cosmic. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we will be channeling the Arcturian Council right after this message. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. All right, guys, I gave you kind of an introduction as to who the Arcturian Council is. They are part of the Galactic Federation of Light. They're from the 9th dimension. They bring sometimes very funny insights as well as deeply spiritual and profound insights, so we love having them on the show. I am an indirect channel, which means I use telepathy, which is something I've been able to do my whole life. Mind talking, as my daughter used to say when she was a child. She was a mind talker. She had friends she telepathed with, so I have a feeling that it is a genetic thing, possibly in our family, but it's a skill that anyone in the world can develop. You can too. In fact, I read a book about telepathy and clairvoyance. 1 or 2 books, actually, by William Walker Atkinson last year, and I think one was this year, in the beginning of the year. So if you're interested in learning how to telepath or mind talk, or at least being clairvoyant, those resources through my show are available to you as well. So I am connected to the Arcturian Council of 9. So it's basically 9 beings, but also Council of 9, meaning of the 9th dimension. Both. They're saying, yeah, it's kind of a metaphor. It's like kind of both. So also 9 is a number of the Illuminary. They're showing me the image and picture right now of the Hermit card. And my tarot's really served me well today, actually. My knowledge of tarot, which is nice. But the Hermit card is basically a man standing alone on a hill, has his head slightly bowed. And if you look in the original tarot card, his hat is the open hand of God. It's a secret symbol that you're not going to see unless you are really, trained and looking for it, and unless you have the right deck, of course. But he holds a lamp, and inside the lamp is a Star of David, which is a nod to King David as well as King Solomon, which are, Jesus himself was descended from these kings. So there's like the illuminary or the luminary energy with that. So the 9th, 9 Hermit card, it's a very good, it's a good thing. It's a good omen. So anyway, I don't allow beings to take over my body, and they know this, although they did try, because they're used to taking over people's bodies to speak through them. So they did try a couple months ago, but we're back on track now, and they know better. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to channel for you guys the Arcturian, or if you want to call them Arcturian, Council of 9. You may begin transmission now. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council of 9, and it is a pleasure to be speaking with you today. We like to check in with all of the people that we speak to on your planet, or if you will, in your world, because some of the people we speak through do not live on the surface. Oh, really? You want to tell us about that? We're not going to talk about that today, but we do have some beings that live inside your planet that also channel us for their people. There are many tribes living in the center of the earth in various locations. And that is not what we are here to discuss right now, even though we find that as fascinating as perhaps you do. Yeah, we definitely find that fascinating. So, okay, what do you want to talk about today, guys? We want you to know that we do come in peace. We know this is a cliche in your world about the aliens that come down and wreak havoc on your planet right after they say we come in peace, or maybe they do come in peace, but your military does not come to us in peace. And we know this is a cliche and it's rather a joke in your world, but from our perspective, we do literally come to you from the 9th dimension, bringing you the utmost love, comfort, and peace that we possibly can, because we do care a great deal about your people and your world. We find your realm fascinating, and we have made a great study of it for thousands of years. We have the luxury of having thousands of years in our bodies because our bodies are light bodies. We are not in a physical form like you are, and we do not have the need for dying like you do. Well, not that you need to die, but your physical bodies do not last very long, and we know there was a lot of genetic manipulation. Your bodies used to live 1,000 years. And we are working with the Galactic Federation of Light to reverse that, so that for those of you who are interested in living more than 100 or 200 or even 300 years, eventually you will be able to live 1,000 years. We are very happy about this new development that we have been working on, and we wanted to bring that up so that you can welcome this directly into your world through your mind. And if you're interested in living longer, think about what would you do with your time. We would like to offer a suggestion of becoming very well educated in philosophy and very well versed in meditation. And we would also offer a suggestion that you could take more time out of your day if you were going to live 1,000 years. So think about that. What would you do with this time? If you were able to bring your body to a state where it was near perfect, if not completely perfect, and you had 1,000 years with your loved ones, how would you spend the time? Would you perhaps go to the park more often? Spend more time having picnics and fun times? Or do you think you'd spend a lot more time working away from your loved ones? We think you know what you would say to this already, that perhaps you would want more time with your loved ones. Well, we would like to offer the suggestion that perhaps spending more time with your loved ones is tantamount towards your spiritual growth and your personal happiness, and to feeling more love. And when it all comes down to it, it's not about the job you had or what office you worked at or that killer parking space in the parking garage. What we are willing to offer you is the idea that your family, your friends, your friendships, your relationships are far more important to your soul than the color of your tie you wear on Tuesday. We are interested in offering these suggestions so that you can learn to view your world from an outside perspective, from a different way of viewing your life, and possibly peering through the matrix a little bit. When you look outside, from the outside looking in, you realize that you have been keeping yourself in a box, many of you. Some of you have already seen outside the matrix, and you have jumped outside and you're looking in. And when you are in that position in the spiritual community, you feel safe and comfortable. But then when you go back into your familial states, your friendships, and even having conversations with your neighbors when they are not awake in the spiritual sense of the word, you tend to feel a little bit out of place, because you are out of place. And there's nothing wrong with being out of place when your place is to be in a different place spiritually than the other people that are surrounding your we shall not say vicinity necessarily, but there's a lot of people, like we discussed this before, where there's different points of light on the planet, and that's why you feel so spread out and so isolated. And eventually the light will grow in a way in which your neighbors will grow open more to the what are you saying? I don't know, I'm seeing the word illuminary, but also illumination, and I feel like there's another word there. Luminosity. That was it, right? Okay, yeah. Muscle testing says yes. So you will notice that the neighbors will grow a little bit more sensitive to the luminosity that you bring to the table, and eventually you will bring your own version and sense of self to their world, and then their world will expand to include your ideas and philosophies as well. You do not have to bring it up in day-to-day conversation. You just need to live your life and feel the high vibrational energy of the light that you bring in. And as you do so, this energy will spread far and wide. And it is happening. We see it from a ninth dimensional perspective. Looking down, we do see that many of the areas in your world that seemed very dark to our sensitivities are actually becoming quite light. And even though it might not seem like it from your perspective, from a lower vibrational standpoint, we see it from a high vibrational standpoint, and we can see. They're showing me, I'm sorry, they say we can see, then they sent me pictures instead of words. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, they're showing me it looks like cauliflower-shaped clouds around, and this is how they're kind of viewing, almost like bubbly, like really teeny tiny bubbles, like cauliflower or broccoli. How it looks like, like trees, but then each individual, like little tiny, the itty bitty nodules on the broccoli, they're round and puffy. They're showing me that's kind of what the energy looks like to them. And they're showing that over the world, our planet, they could see from a higher vibrational standpoint, like these bubbly energy. It's like bubbles of energy, and it's coming up, and it almost looks like cauliflower or broccoli. So now they're getting back to me with words again. Okay, yes, exactly. Your vegetables, cauliflower or broccoli, whichever one you wish to look at, we just want to show you the shape of what we see, and this is the energy and the vibration of what we're seeing. And we can tell that everything is going to be okay when we see this happening. But we don't see it as green or white, as in the colors of those vegetables. We see this as a pink, as an electric pink energy that is not opaque, but rather clear. And it has a gauzy sensitivity to it. And much like your earth bubbles, when the children play with the bubbles, it has also a sheen or a shimmer or a hue of a little bit of blue and turquoise as well. These are all very, very good colors to see from a higher perspective of a higher dimensional standpoint. We can tell what energy is being moved in your world, and we see that a lot of movement has started to take place in your world in a way in which okay, I'm sorry, I'm losing it again. Let's do that again, guys. Say that one again. So we see that the energy in your world is moving and taking place in a way that is I see this word conglomerative or conglomeration. And then I am also seeing the word agglutination. And there's, I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to say here. Okay, now they're having me do like a light language bit through my hands. So they're showing me like a stirring energy, like stirring and swirling. Now they're showing me, and I'm seeing agglutinación in Espanol. I'm seeing it in Spanish. So agglutinization, like things are being added together, like the swirls. Okay, the pieces of the puzzle are being added up, and it's like the pot is being stirred. And as the pot is being stirred, things are becoming rather exciting and excitable. And they're showing me this, you guys, in a way of electrons. Like if you're stirring a pot of soup, to you it just looks like liquid with vegetables in it. But from their perspective, they see molecules, atoms, and they see the actions of such. And they see how the electrons will jump from one atom to the other. And if it's going very fast and there's a lot of heat and pressure applied, it goes very, very, very fast. So they're showing me this as a visual metaphor, but they're showing it that it's being stirred in a counterclockwise position. And so we explain that. Yes, indeed. We are showing you this image and metaphor in a counterclockwise rotation because this means that you are undoing hundreds, if not thousands of years of emotional and psychological as well as social damage to various groups and various people. And as this part of the puzzle, it's almost as, imagine the image of a toddler putting together a puzzle on a Saturday on a living room table, and they're sitting on the floor and they have all the puzzle pieces. And at first, all the puzzle pieces are all over the whole living room. And the mother comes along and says, pick up the puzzle pieces. And so the child picks up all the puzzle pieces and wants to please his mom further by putting the puzzle pieces together. But all the puzzle pieces are put together completely wrong, and he's forcing it. He's forcing all the shapes together in a way that the picture is not clear. And the picture is very vague, and some of the pieces are even turned backwards and upside down. And there's no picture on the upright facing surface. So when you stand back and he says, look, Mom, the puzzle is finished. And then the mother comes in and she sees that the puzzle is a complete mess. Nothing is really fixed. Everything is forced. Some of the pieces are bent or broken or distorted or turned out backwards. And this is the kind of a mess that you have made your world into. Is this kind of the way that we have seen it energetically. And now what's happening, it's like you're taking this, now to mix our metaphors, to stir that pot backwards is to undo all the pieces of that puzzle. And we see that some of the puzzle pieces are being glued, some are being mended, and it's And this is our metaphor for the fences being mended in a social way in many of your groups. And then we see that a lot of these pieces have to be flipped over so that now they're upright, and now things are starting to come together. And the clearer picture is starting to take place as the puzzle pieces are coming together, and they are being brought together in a new way, which was the original way of the original plan and the original design of the puzzle itself. And you can look at the matrix that you live in as a puzzle. And oh yeah, they're showing me, like yesterday, the Rubik's Cube idea. The Prime Creator, they listened to that episode last night. The idea of that we're a perfect Rubik's Cube, and then we make a big jumble and mess up of our life, and we can never get the Rubik's Cube back in order until we do certain things, and then we get it back in order and we're fine. And so it's kind of, they're giving me a kind of a similar metaphor to that. So go ahead. Yes, exactly. Indeed, this is exactly what we're trying to say, that even though it looks terrible, everything is being everything is being revitalized, resurfaced, repolished, mended, and put together in the correct way. And it's like the exciting energy of the atoms and the molecules being in an excited state, and things are starting to go very rapidly and very quickly, and more heat is being applied, more pressure is being applied. And that is what we see when the cosmic energy is coming in from the opposite end of your sun, or the other side of your sun, as you said earlier, they're saying to me. And we see that it's not only the energy coming from the grand central sun, and there are several stars that are beaming the light your way, as well as occasionally your own sun, and then the portal of your sun, which is different and a higher vibrational energy. And then we see that there are pulsars. How many? 3? 2. Okay. They're showing me 2 pulsars. Okay, and they're showing me now that the pulsar is coming from, so it's like they're beaming together and joining one beam before it beams through. Is it through the portal of the sun? No, it's coming around our sun. So there's 2 pulsars that are kind of beaming at each other, kind of, but kind of at an angle, and then it's meeting like a lariat necklace is the energy, or the shape that they're showing me, kind of like a Y. So the top part of the Y, the top right and the left parts are meeting in the middle and joining right before Sol, our sun, and then it's coming. The energy is beaming at us, but coming from around the edges of the sun and coming at us. So it feels like it's coming from the sun, but it's not. And these are pulsars. Do you want to explain to us what that does to us? Yes, in the 12th and the 15th dimension, there are energies that come from a pulsar that will start to excite the atoms and electrons, if you will, in the higher dimensional bodies of your multidimensional selves. Even though they're not molecules and atoms at that level, that's the way that you're going to understand it, because these are the words that you are used to in your own language and way of thinking. And it's a very high vibrational science, literally very high vibrational, and it is actually science. And so it's the trickle down effect, where you have from the very top, the energy of the exciting atoms will come. And again, they're not atoms, but this is the words we're using so you understand more. And it comes down and it starts to make a knitted pattern. And as the knitted pattern comes, it will unravel other patterns that were put in place that did not serve you. And so the new patterns are being created. And it's almost like the energy of flipping those puzzle pieces over one at a time. And in this case, the puzzle pieces are your DNA and the genes that are meant to turn on to make you a better human being in every possible way. Those are being switched on, and the ones that do not need to be on, that do not serve you any longer, are being switched off, such as addictions or anger issues or genetic flaws or defects that keep you in a state of disrepaired health. So we are seeing this and witnessing this, and it is very terribly exciting for us. And as it is, we are sure, a very exciting time for you as well. But because the world seems so chaotic in your eyes, we see that a lot of you have been feeling very frustrated. We are here to tell you that we're sending you love, we're sending you brotherhood, friendship, and a solid foundation for which you can stand, but energetically so. We are sending, and they're showing me kind of like, it looks like a pink coral energy. And I don't understand what this means, so you guys want to explain that? It's like energy, and almost like they're like, yes, it's our version of what we would consider, from your perspective, a safety net of energy, and it's a surrounding energy. They're showing me it's like a very pale pink. It's gonna hug us, and on the days that we need help or support, that's available to us. We could call upon that, like a cloak, like an invisible shield, like Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, and it can surround us. And it shows, they're showing it to me like a pink, almost like a pink matrix, but it's more natural, like a coral, or like a plant that wraps around. It's hard to explain it, but it's kind of very pale pink, very beautiful, high vibrational love energy, though. They say, yeah, it's your Arcturian hugs. They say if you imagine wearing it around your shoulders like a shawl or like a coat that will hug you and send you love, you say, I want my Arcturian hug now, and we will send them, and they will just be floating about in your atmosphere. And when you say that, then the Arcturian hug, or the high vibrational energy, when you call upon it, will be in your life, and it will become a part of your personal matrix, and it will give you a high vibrational energy of self-esteem and self-confidence, and it will help you to beam with pride at your own spiritual progress, but not in an egotistical way. It will help you to feel so proud of what you're doing that other people will catch on to the high vibrational smile that you have on your face. Okay. Anything else? Anything else you want to tell us? We have mentioned before that we are part of the Galactic Federation of Light, and many of you do not understand what this means. There is a group that have been around for thousands of years, and I'm seeing the word 5, or the number 5,000, but it might be a little bit longer, like maybe 50,000. So I don't think I'm seeing the number totally clear. They're saying, yes, we've been around for thousands of years, and we have watched your planet learn and grow. And just like the Prime Directive in your Star Trek, we don't interfere until you are ready. And that is why we started to channel through many of your people. And we feel that it's time. So that's why all of the different groups have said, we're part of the Galactic Federation of Light. It's not a made-up fantasy based on a TV show. It is real. And we actually hold meetings, and we have conferences, and we talk about the states of various worlds, and we send a lot of love and light. We do a lot of what you would consider to be prayer work. And they're saying, like, they say it's beyond social niceties. It is more of an energy of brotherly love. And a lot of the Ascended Masters are a part of what it is that we're doing. Once people in your world, even if they were 1,000 years ago alive, they, when even in their spirit form, once they reach the spiritual mastery of mastering their own life and their own self, they will bring into their awareness our existence, and then they become a part of it as well. And this is a part of unity in the universe. It's not just one or two groups, it's many, many groups of which you have never heard. Many groups come from planetary star systems that are not even in your dimension. So we've never even mentioned them because they're in higher vibration. 7th dimension, 8th dimension, 9th dimension, 11th dimension. And you can't even see them, not even a little bit. There's no physical evidence where you are now. Many of you are aware of the planets in the Lyra star system blowing up because of the Draco War. And what we'd like to let you know is that those planets do still exist in other dimensions. Usually it's a as above, so below situation. And sometimes those planets no longer exist in the lower realms, but they still exist in the higher realms. So we do have people from various walks of life, from various planets that are all a part of the Galactic Federation. And we have in your world, some of your spiritual masters have walked in the 12th dimension or the 11th dimension after they were in the 3rd and moved their way through the ranks of the physical and high vibrational matrix, and they brought themselves way up to the very top, and they do that trickle down theory as well. They put as much love and energy as possible, and then every rung down on the ladder receives a little bit less energy, but it's still enough energy where you, if you wish to tap into it, it exists. There is help in the universe for you, for all of you, and it is always being beamed at you and coming your way at all times. All you need to do is meditate and pray that it comes to you. And you could even say out loud, hey, I'd like an Arcturian hug. Or, hey, I would like high vibrational energy right now to help me pass my exams. Or, I would like to have more abundance in my life. I need more self-esteem in order to receive that. I need help. We are all here in the Galactic Federation of Light to help each and every one of you. And you will be meeting soon with the Pleiadians as well as some of the other groups when they come into your world physically. And many of you have been seeing them all around the world in their light ships, and it will continue to do so until you are able to receive them as physical guests in your realm, in your world. We are constantly and consistently praying for you and sending you the highest vibrational love. We have always loved and admired you for being brave enough to go down into the lowest realms that a human body or that a human can go. But we say the word loosely because you are a soul which is so much greater than you as a human. Those of you that are human right now are temporarily so, and once you leave that vessel, you will become a soul again in the higher realms. So the fact that you decided to go so low in vibration is admirable for us. And also, it is, if we had the right amount of emotion that you do, I guess from our perspective, we would consider that to be scary or frightening, but we don't have those emotions, that we don't really understand them. Although we have watched many of you go through that, and we feel for you, and that's why we are constantly sending you love. But we want to let you know, once again, just reminding you gently that we are here. We send you love. We send you support. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have been pleased to meet up with you once again today in this transmission. Cool. Thank you, guys. They're bowing to me. I'm bowing to them. Okay. End transmission. So, all right, guys, that's it. It was a short and sweet one tonight. I hope that you have enjoyed tonight's show. And I encourage you, if you have not done so, to go and look at or listen to some of the other channelings. They all seem to fit together. I feel like a lot of these groups are definitely working together, and they do pay attention to what we're doing down here. And I think that's kind of cool, because sometimes we feel like we're insignificant ants milling about on the surface of the earth, and it doesn't make a difference, or one whit a difference, but it actually does. And so the work that you're doing, the spiritual work that you're doing, is very, very important. Remember to keep meditating and keep praying, keep sending love and light around the world. You know, when all else fails and you don't know what to do, turn on your favorite jam and dance. Might I suggest Ocean Spray Cranberry and listening to Dreams by Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac. I don't know if you guys have seen that trend. It's hilarious. But Nathan Abagado, is that his name? No, Apodaca. I'm sorry. I'm like his last name is not lawyer. Apodaca. Nathan Apodaca in California. Skating around on a skateboard, singing Dreams by Fleetwood Mac and drinking his Ocean Spray Cranberry juice. I mean, who knew something that simple would be the biggest, most inspirational little video of the year? Our standards are so low now. But it is a 1977 tune. I told you guys before, the 1970s has music that just there's an energy there, an enlightenment, an inspiring energy. And that song, Stevie Nicks, she even did a TikTok response to that, where she's putting on her roller skates, which is pretty cool. So check that out if you haven't checked it out already. Let's see. Yeah, but just, put on a song of your choice, dance, raise your vibration, smile, pet a cat, get a coloring book and crayons, color. It's such a weird and simple thing, but just anything that will pull you out of your head if you need to get away from overthinking or worry or excessive fear or anxiety. Whatever you can do to raise your vibration at this time is needed and necessary. Meditation is highly always recommended. Binaural beats, isochronic tones will also help. I've been listening to 12,000 hertz frequency and 10,000 hertz frequency. It's a really high vibration, and it's been actually pretty helpful. So anyway, that's it. That's all she wrote for tonight. I wanted to say thank you for tuning into the show and for your continued faith and confidence in my show and myself and my abilities. I want to say thank you for that. If you have not already done so, please feel free to like and subscribe, and especially forward and share with your Facebook groups, especially if there's millions of people in the groups. I do need to grow the show, and the only way I can do it is if other people promote me, because when I try to promote myself, they say, sorry, no self-promotion. So please and thank you for telling all of your Twitter followers, your Instagram followers, TikTok followers, as well as your Facebook groups. Anchor.fm/metaphysical. That is how you find my main podcast page. But I'm also available on, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and every podcast player, app, and platform out there, because, yes, I am internationally syndicated. Words I never thought I would say when I started this show like 6 years ago. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was 7 years ago now I started the show. So, that's it. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being on this beautiful journey with me. If you need to DM me, if you want a reading or anything at all, I am going to start putting out hypnosis audios. If you want something specific that I can do for the group, please let me know at mermaidgirl888 on Instagram, and I will start to do those soon, and I'll let you guys know as soon as they're available. and the pricing and all that. If you'd like to make a one-time donation, you may do so at mermaidgirl888@gmail.com through PayPal, or metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail, again through PayPal. So thank you for that. Some of you have already done that. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I do not have an income or a job. This is my only income. So thank you for those of you who are helping me with that. And if you'd like to pledge to be a sponsor of the show, once a month you can make just a commitment for, as little or as long as you want. It could be for the next 6 years or for the next 6 weeks. It's up to you. Or 3 months, I think is a minimum, possibly. But those amounts are anywhere from 99 cents to $9.99. They're not very much. So for those of you who have been greatly helped through my show, and it's helping you grow by leaps and bounds, and I hear from so many of you every day. Ruben, thank you for your message today. That was awesome to hear from you. But I hear from a lot of you, and I just want to say thank you for the mail and the DMs. It's been very helpful for me to know that I'm actually helping you. So that's why I'm here. Anyway, we're all on the spiritual journey together. So thank you, Soul Family. Thank you, Soul Tribe. I'm going to go. Tomorrow I will be back with all original and unique programming, just like always. But for now, I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.